Interesting facts about Mars that will blow your mind. In comparison to the Earth we know, Mars is a profoundly foreign place. There are many reasons for this, but it is hardly the most welcoming environment for future human settlers on Mars. Particularly if you reside somewhere with low light pollution, Mars stands out and is easily recognized because it is quite bright and has a reddish hue. People from many different cultures have been seeing Mars for thousands of years and have known about it since antiquity. Let's explore what is known, or believed to be known, about the red-headed stepbrother of our planet. Number 10. Without a spacesuit, you wouldn't stay very long on Mars. When Arnold Schwarzenegger's character had severe popping eyes while exposed to a partial vacuum on the Martian surface, it was one of the most iconic scenes from the movie Total Recall. Although this situation has certainly been greatly exaggerated, the truth is considerably worse. The atmosphere of Mars is rather thin, which is the main cause of this. So thin that if you ever find yourself standing on the planet without a spacesuit, your voyage would be a short one. However, having your internal organs try to escape your body is only a portion of the issue. The icy surface of the planet is one of the significant problems. For comparison, the planet's mid-latitudes experience an average temperature of minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 45 degrees Celsius. Number 9. Mars' atmosphere contains an enormous amount of methane. The presence of gaseous methane in Mars' atmosphere is another fascinating fact. Methane has also been utilized, like water, as a potential sign of whether there once was or is currently life on the planet. The Mariner 9 mission discovered methane in the atmosphere for the first time in 1971, and subsequent telescopic studies have subsequently documented radically varying methane levels over the years. Few spacecraft have been created to date with the ability to specifically probe for the element. However, the Curiosity rover has noticed increases in methane in the region, and the cause is still mostly unknown. Methane often forms on Earth as a consequence of microbial activity and human cultivation. Number 8. Mars has frozen ice today, but it is believed to have once been liquid. The presence of water on a planet is regarded to be one of the primary requirements for life. Although liquid water is ideal for life as we know it, the mere fact that water exists at all suggests that life may exist on a planet or has been present in the past. In the case of Mars, we are certain that the planet's poles contain significant amounts of ice. Since the planet has a relatively thin atmosphere, there is little to no chance that liquid water could exist there, as far as we know. Any water that exists on Mars outside of its polar regions is likely to be frozen as well. However, NASA spacecraft, like the Curiosity rover, continue to scour the planet for probable sites where life might exist. Even if there isn't life on Mars, the vast amounts of frozen water will be a fantastic resource for any upcoming human settlements and missions to the planet. Number 7. There are some really bad sandstorms on Mars. If the planet's arid environment wasn't a sufficient reason not to visit, Mars' power also presents a risk. These massive storms are brought on by Mars' eccentric orbit around the Sun. As a result, there may be temperature differences between the hemispheres, which would significantly increase the amount of dust that is carried by air currents around the planet. These powerful dust storms can last up to 6 months and blanket the entire planet. One of the most recent ones was seen on camera in February 2022. It practically spanned the entire southern hemisphere of Mars and was twice the size of the United States. In addition, the storm forced NASA's InSight lander to switch to safe mode to preserve battery life since dust blocks sunlight from reaching the solar panels. Until the weather was better, NASA's Ingenuity Mars helicopter was also forced to cancel flights. Number 6. Pieces of Mars have reached Earth. Believe it or not, researchers think that they have discovered evidence that tiny fragments of Mars have touched down on Earth in the past. These tiny rocks, which are known as Martian meteorites, have somehow managed to reach Earth. It may seem inconceivable. Pieces of planet's surface are blown off when objects like sizable asteroids collide with them. If the impact is large enough, these strikes unleash a ton of ejecta that can actually launch objects into space. This ejecta may possess sufficient energy to circumnavigate the solar system and escape the planet's gravitational pull before coming into contact with another planet's center of gravity. Number 5. The surface of Mars also features a sizable canyon. Mars is home to a vast canyon known as Valles Marineris, or Mariner Valley in Latin. The canyon, or rather canyon system, is a breathtaking sight to behold and runs along the equator of the planet. It has a length of about 2,610 miles, 4,200 kilometers, and is about 4.4 miles, 7 kilometers deep in some places. That will almost cover the entire continental United States from the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean because it is so large. Number 4. Mars should have its own ring. Because of their distinctive circling rings, Saturn and Uranus are two of the solar system's more unusual planets. But it turns out that Mars could receive its own ring in a few tens of millions of years, not to be outdone. Astronomers predict that gravitational forces will eventually split apart Phobos, Mars' largest and most mysterious moon. As a result, a debris field will develop, which will eventually settle into a stable orbit and create a rocky ring around Mars. Number 3. Mars gets its name from the Roman god of war. If you've ever wondered why our neighbor to the north is called Mars, it's because the Roman god of battle was known by this moniker. Reasonably, it is assumed that this is something to do with Mars' startling red color when viewed from Earth. In truth, the planet Ares was given that name by the ancient Greeks, who also used it to refer to their own battle deity. What's more intriguing is that this custom did not exist in ancient Europe. The hue of Mars has inspired other ancient cultures. Chinese astronomers named Mars the Fire Star. Number 2. Mars has the tallest mountain known in the solar system. The tallest peak yet found on another planet is another remarkable truth about Mars. This gigantic peak, known as Olympus Mons, Latin for Mount Olympus, is around 16 miles, 25 kilometers tall, and 373 miles, 60 kilometers in diameter. That dwarfs any comparable peak on Earth due to its astounding size. Mount Everest, which stands 29,032 feet, 8,849 meters, taller than us above sea level, is a pitiful contrast. However, as Mars lacks oceans as Earth does, it could be more accurate to compare it to another massive mountain, such as Hawaii's Mauna Kea, which rises 32,696 feet above sea level. But Mauna Kea is still dwarfed by Olympus Mons. And number 1. Earth and Mars have similar amounts of land. Contrary to popular belief, Mars and Earth both have a similar amount of landmass. This is true even though the former only makes up around 10% of Earth's mass and is only about 15% as massive. Earth's volume is around 108.321 1010 cubic kilometers, while Mars has a volume of 16.318 1010 cubic kilometers, according to NASA. With an equatorial radius of 3,396.2 kilometers and a mass of, very roughly, 0.64169 1024 kilograms, Mars is roughly half the size of Earth. Earth, on the other hand, has a mass of 5.9722 1024 kilograms, making it about 10 times more massive. So how could you have the same amount of land if Mars is so much smaller, one may wonder? Simply said, water covers the great majority of the Earth's surface.